Welcome to Witnessing Christ. Witnessing Christ is a truth and love ministry podcast designed to help biblical Christians witness to their Mormon friends, family, and missionaries. For more Bible-based resources, check out tilm.org. We have all kinds of resources to support you, including classes, witnessing scenarios, books, and so much more. Visit tilm.org today.
Hello and welcome everybody to this special episode of Witnessing Christ. This episode will be an introduction and or interview, probably more of an interview, with Pastor Wayne Uhlhorn. Pastor Uhlhorn, why would Caleb and I be interviewing you today?
Well, it's my second day on the jobs, and
Welcome.
yeah, and I happen to be at the exact same place where you guys are.
Yes.
And we're in the podcast recording studio. Well, I was up here to give a presentation, and you invited me on the podcast. But it's been good. We had some good time visiting. We went out to eat, and now it's time to record a podcast.
Business, yeah.
Yeah, and so you're going to be one of our new bosses, you could say.
I guess.
Would that be accurate? Well, we've been spending some time getting to know you these past couple hours, but our audience in general, they don't know you.
Yeah.
How would you like to introduce yourself to them?
Well, I'm a pastor. I mean, I've been a pastor for 3 decades, and I've served a bunch of different congregations across the nation: North Dakota, Baltimore, Maryland, Colorado Springs, and Carlsbad, California. And especially in the last 2 places is where I started to interact with LDS people. In Southern California, my wife was a preschool teacher, and there were a lot of LDS families that sent their children to our school. So I got to know some families, still keep in touch with them today. And then just being able to have a respectful conversation with them and learn what they believe and teach, and then knowing how to respond. I think that's where this started. And then a position opened up, and I felt compelled to join.
Awesome. Well, we're glad you're here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I love the pastor's heart. This is a people business. We're in it for people. And well, luckily the LDS are people too.
Yeah.
So, absolutely. There's always work to be done.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you have that history with reaching out to LDS friends, students, families. So one thing I was wondering is what led you? And you said you kind of felt called, but was there anything in particular that led you to join TILM?
Yeah, and I think as I've gotten to learn about it and know it more, I'm just keep coming away more and more impressed of the direction that it's heading, the interaction that is going on with the congregations, the helping churches be able to, hey, we're going to come to your neighborhood and really assist you. We're going to give you the tools. We're going to meet people in the neighborhood, and we're going to hand them off to you because we've made contact, but they need follow-up because some of the people that have been met on these mission trips, they're still lost and confused and hurting, and they need to know about Jesus. They need to know about how much he loves them and what he's all done for them, to give them the peace and the confidence that they may be lacking.
Yeah, that's a core tenet of what Truth and Love Ministry strives to do, is to equip Christian witnesses. We had talked a little bit before, but do you want to share the background of what you've been doing to help equip Christian witnesses, especially in regards to the job you were doing prior to Truth and Love Ministry?
Right. And that was a real, the church planting arm of our church body and getting new missions going. And I've been doing that either part-time or full-time for a number of years. And I think what I really loved about that was that here are people, and I'll meet with like a little core group of people that want to start a mission. Here are people that know that they need to reach the lost in the city and in the place where they're living, and they just don't know how to go about doing it. And I could lead them through the process of getting the funds and getting the manpower so that they could start a new church. And I just always have loved that aspect of ministry the most. Finding people that are lost and confused and searching without knowing Jesus, and then being able to teach them and bring them to an understanding of the true grace of God and salvation in Him alone. And so this, to me, doesn't feel like that much of a leap,
Yeah.
right? It's a little bit more specific. I've been in the West a long time now, and I love it, and it's home. One of the things, and I still remember this in California, talking to some LDS families, and I asked them, well, what do you think of these big mega churches?
Yeah.
And they go, well, we like them, but they don't like us too much. And I thought, boy, what a shame that this is what they think of their fellow Christians. Like, they don't like us. They don't want to talk to us.
Yeah.
And I thought, no, we can do better than that.
Yep.
We can be their friends and listen and talk and have a good conversation like you guys have done on the mission trips, right?
Yeah.
Good conversations, sharing your faith.
Yeah, and just to let them know that they're loved.
Right.
Loved by us Christians, but most importantly by their Savior
Yeah.
and what He did for them on the cross. Well, thank you for sharing that, Pastor Uhlhorn. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Truth and Love Ministry really is impressive, and not everybody realizes everything that it's doing. They don't realize all the tools that are available. They don't realize all the really good encouragement that they can get through the ministry of truth and love. Since I've begun to tell people that I accepted this position and beginning, almost everyone that I talk to knows this person who's LDS or
Yeah.
that person.
Yeah.
And I can tell they want to reach them, but they don't know how. And they want to concentrate sometimes on historical approaches or doctrinal issues rather than, let's just boil it down to law and gospel. Let's just share how you can point out people's sin and just how big God is and complete God is in His gift of salvation. And I remember being a pastor of a congregation, and they'd go, Pastor, I don't know what to do. My daughter's dating a Mormon. And guess what? Truth and Love Ministry has a whole program for that.
Oh, yeah.
Or I don't know what to do because I got relatives that are members of the LDS church. And I just, there's probably nothing that makes me sadder than to think if somebody comes to a knowledge of the truth from Scripture and they start understanding everything Jesus has done for them, and then they know to take that next leap, though, might mean losing their family members and friends and contacts, and they're just scared, and they're not sure they can trust anybody or any teaching. That makes me sad to think that there'd be nothing for them, and that Jesus is enough.
Yeah.
And that there is truth and love materials, and that there is Be Perfect and all those ministries. That makes me happy. I want to be a part of that. I want to talk to people. I want to meet people that think they don't want this, but they don't know what they want and need. I want to have conversations with those people and point them to Christ.
And that's absolutely right. I found that it is a case-by-case basis for each Latter-day Saint that you may meet, and that each of them does have a specific view of God that it isn't comforting. And God is somebody who wants rules to be followed. And, it's a special comfort that we really can bring in all of our Christian witnessing is that God is here for you. And it should be a comforting option rather than God is always there watching what you're doing. It's a beautiful thing to talk about. Jesus makes you worthy, that you were worth it for Jesus, and a beautiful comfort that is. So,
well, and I really liked how you brought up the empathy you can have for members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The fact that there's such a barrier to entry almost to biblical Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned they oftentimes can be cut off from
Yeah.
their family,
Yeah.
among other things. I mean, they've been in this culture for so long. Never mind the fact that if you leave the LDS church, you're considered an apostate, and
Right.
that's
Right.
not usually something you want to.
No,
Really?
and you want a landing spot for them. And the percentage of former Latter-day Saints that become atheists or agnostic is way too high. And so I just think what Truth and Love Ministry is doing and providing, more and more people need to hear about that. And that's really what I'm supposed to do in my position. If you were going to get around to asking me, what is it that you do exactly, Pastor Uhlhorn? I'm trying to work with more Christian churches that are out there that need to learn about the good things that Tilm is doing and the tools and resources that are produced. Before I joined, I didn't have any clue as far as the amount of content, the amount of tools and resources and at the door and please open the door and all those really good things. And it gives you confidence and it makes you realize there's people on your side.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Pastor Uhlhorn, for joining us. Thank you very much.
Great to meet you guys.
All right. Yeah.
I've listened to your podcast and now I get to be a part of one
Yes.
and see the studio.
Yeah.
And so now in the future, I'll be able to picture, the four of you, there's only two of you tonight, but
Yep.
the four of you laughing and joking inside here.
Yeah.
It's a great time. And thank you to our listeners, too, for joining us for this special episode of Witnessing Christ.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Witnessing Christ. Witnessing Christ is a Truth in Love Ministry podcast. For more resources, visit tilm.org. If this podcast and other Truth in Love Ministry resources have been a blessing to you, consider supporting the mission to proclaim Christ to Mormons and empower Christians to witness by visiting tilm.org/give.